Yeah.
I have our guest commentator in the studio with me for the rest of the program, who will offer a perspective on the news and talking points of the day, and the journalist and political affairs commentator, who is also a Rise News analyst, Dr. Constance Ikokwu, joins me right now. Thank you so much, Doctor. You would have heard the defense of the governing party, and it's that the major opposition political parties are actually sponsoring protests, though I asked for evidence and it was practically difficult for one to be offered. But what's been your assessment of his views?
I mean, the accusations and counter-accusations between the ruling and opposition parties is not helpful to anyone. My sense is that generally Nigerians want to see less talk and more action that can produce results. Having said that, when we look at this type of protest that is happening, I think generally it stems from socio-economic and political and sometimes environmental factors. And, you know, it is usually driven by a sense of we want a better life, a better quality of life, and we want things to improve. And I think people can use the legitimate tool of protest to express their displeasure and their grievances. That's one. Then number two, I also think that President Bola Tinubu bears a major responsibility for the current political and economic crisis. Why? He was one of the people that supported, or he played a major role in supporting former President Muhammadu Buhari coming into power.
Did he have a choice?
Well,
his party, I mean.
Yes, it was his party. I'm saying that he supported him fully. And that government turned out to be underwhelming, and that is putting it mildly. And so President Tinubu then says, it's my turn. And so he continues. So whatever happened in that government is also making impact in our lives today, both politically and economically. Then finally, all the things that the APC has been saying in terms of the response to the protest is not sufficiently convincing. I think that when you look at the country today, there is no amount of spin doctors that will clean out the mess. The most important thing to do is to get down to work. You know, political reforms and economic reforms have to take place. And, you know, we've seen a bit of that happening today at the National Assembly, the economic team trying to present and share with Nigerians what they intend to do. I think they should focus more on that.
Yeah, and they're actually asking for understanding. The governing party and those in government said, look, in no distant time, you'll see some of the results of these policies. I mean, that's the CBN governor. You would have seen National Security Advisor, Minister of Information. Apart from what happened at the National Assembly, they also held another one at the Presidential Villa. And they are saying that, look, we are putting policies in place. We are just 8 months in power. Do you think Nigerians should still give them some more time?
I mean, it makes sense to ask for time and understanding, but people also want to see some results. You know, things are really, really difficult in the country. High inflation rate, it's over 20%. And you don't even want to talk about transportation costs. If you fly from one part of the country to the other, the cost of flights have risen astronomically. It's like doubled or even tripled. Yeah. And then this is for middle class people. Ordinary people, you can imagine what they're going through. So yes, we will give you or understand what the issues are. It's not easy for them. But also, you also want to see some kind of seriousness. So, for instance, in political reforms, you want to institute accountability. Yes, the EFCC chairman, the Economic and Financial Crisis Commission, has been, you know, working hard. They've invited some people like Sadiya Farouk, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. He also talked about the brother of former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, right? They've arrested him, or they're questioning him concerning billions of naira contracts and things like that. Yes, that is good. It shows that there's some movement, but we need much more than that, because when you go to the ministries, departments, and agencies, there's so much that is happening. So Nigerians want to see that you're actually working and you're serious. And then when it comes to the government itself, What are the government officials doing in terms of also their seats, you know, who their assistants, the bureaucracy, exactly reducing the cost of governance. If you're asking Nigerians to understand with you and to sacrifice, you also want to show that you are sacrificing as well.
All right, Dr. Constance Ikokwu, just before I let you go, the opposition Labour Party is saying to President Tinubu and his government, seek for help. There's hunger in the land. We can help. PDP can help. Other political parties can help. Even outside the country, seek for help. But from what you would have heard the APC spokesman said, it looks like they are just okay with handling their government themselves. How can they have a bipartisan approach to actually solving the issues, just like I asked the Labour Party member of the House of Representatives?
We know that there's no president that can run Nigeria successfully being parochial. It doesn't help. It has never worked. It will never work. An example is the former president, Muhammad Buhari. Look at his government. Look at what they did. He was so regional. He was so biased. It is going to take you nowhere. And someone that, like President Tinubu, that comes from Lagos, Lagos is very cosmopolitan. You would expect that he has a broader view of life and of Nigeria, of nationality, but it doesn't seem so. So yes, if you have a wider view and a broader view of the country, you can seek for help from every part of the country. It is your job. You are on the seat. You have the power. You can do whatever you want to do, you know, positively. And I think people are really looking up to him. You know, this is a very difficult time, and I think it's a make or break time. Within the next 8 months, if something doesn't change dramatically, I think it's going to be very difficult for the government. All
right, interesting proposition here. We hope that if it does get out of hand, President Tinubu will seek the views of people like former President Olusegun Obasanjo, although he was on the PDP stock.
He needs to start
or
now.
Or even former President Goodluck Jonathan.
You know, there are Nigerians internationally that can help.
Yeah.
You need to invite them.
Yeah.
You know? But also, we don't need to do a copy and paste, because sometimes we just want to borrow things from abroad that will not work in our circumstances. You need to have the broader vision, and then you need to have the action plan and go to work.
All right, sir. When you are in a hole, you stop digging.
Yes.
We just hope that those who are in government will actually look for ways to stop digging if they aren't getting results. But we must thank you so much, Arise Analyst Dr. Constance Ikokwu, for helping us to understand all the issues that have been raised by my guest earlier on. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of Arise Primetime. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Samna Sambo.